Hey guys, so I told you I was going to do one more video today, and I just have to do this video because I was telling you in my YouTube, building my YouTube channel video, that I am reading a book called 30 Days to a Better YouTube Channel, and the very first day completely rocked my world. Like, wow. I could not believe how much just one day could send me into several days of reflection, counseling with mentors in my life and people who I counsel and keep accountable to, as well as just talking to some forums that I am in so that I can, grow and become better. What I came to was that I am living an unconventional lifestyle. And let me just kind of explain that a little bit, because your story may not be exactly my story, but I will help you. I will define that in just a minute. For me, my story is that I was a pregnant teenager. I'm 35 now. I've grown a ton, but I was kind of ignoring that piece of who I was because I don't really relate to that anymore. However, everything that I have done up to this point has made me who I am today at 35. And, I was pregnant at 17, got married right out of high school. Like literally, we graduated Monday and got married Friday. We were babies, and we laugh because we say we got married for money because Alex was going away for military training, and we found out we made triple the amount if we were just married, and so we just got married. We were going to get married that year anyways, so we just decided to pull it off in a week, and we did. It wasn't fancy or anything. So, unconventional. Did you make a life-altering choice at a young age? Like, okay, pregnant teenager. Obviously, that's one. Did you have an addiction and maybe go the wrong route according to society? Maybe you didn't go to college. Whatever it is, you didn't go the conventional way that society tells you you should go. So maybe you feel like you missed the boat. And yeah, when we make these decisions, life can be a little harder. However, there is something that I want you to see. One, your life is not over. And two, you have an opportunity. Actually, you have something that other people don't have. You think differently, and you're going to have to think differently. So I want you to see the opportunity that is in front of you. Okay, you made a decision. You know what? There are consequences that are natural to that decision, and that is what you will have to live out. But you have an opportunity right now to change the trajectory of the way that you are going, which is so exciting. So I'm going to tell you how I kind of got to where I am today. Because of the decision that we made, because we became pregnant as teenagers, because we decided to keep our child, which I do not regret at all. I love her. She is the gem of my life. Because we decided to get married, even though everybody told us not to. I can't even tell you, we had polls saying how long we were going to last. I mean, it was that bad. We had people in our lives telling us not to get married, and we chose to anyways. Everything was against us, so we had to fight. And we did not have a cozy life at all. We struggled financially. We definitely struggled in our marriage. We didn't know what to do. We hadn't seen healthy marriages. We had divorce all around us. We had to learn how to become parents. Talk about crash course 101. Here I am, a baby, raising a baby, as I already said. But it made me have to seek out information. And this is before YouTube. I didn't have YouTube. So I became an avid researcher of information. I became a DIYer when DIYing was not a thing. And, I had to, because I had no money. And if I wanted things, I had to make them, either from something I found at the thrift store or the we didn't even have Dollar Tree then, which is, oh man, I mean, you could do so much with that. But I also had to research knowledge. I wanted to that I wasn't it wasn't the end of my life. Things weren't just going to fall because I had a child. So I felt like I had to prove myself. So if I wanted to learn something, I had to research it. I couldn't pay for a college course. In fact, when people would tell me that, like, oh, I want to learn this, but I got to go to college and, take a class, I'd be like, why? Just go learn it. Like, it just didn't equate to me. So because I felt like I had to prove myself, I worked hard at everything I did. I made a decision that I wasn't going to stay where stay in a depressed state. I was going to work hard. I was going to have a great marriage. I was going to have, great kids. I was going to do everything I could to move forward from this decision and not backwards. So I had to really evaluate what I wanted in life. And, it also made me question like the status quo. Why do we do the things that we do? Why do we, there seemed to be like this thing of you have to do things this way. And I'd be like, why? Why do we have to do things that way? I question traditions. Why do we do this tradition this way? Like, it doesn't even make sense. Why do we eat like these terrible foods once a year that we don't even like that much when we cook more healthy throughout the year and I like that better? Like, why do we have these weird traditions? Why do people have expectations that they do, on others? I think because people kind of had a low expectation of what we were going to be able to do and accomplish. I think they didn't have those expectations on us, which in some ways actually worked out to our favor, because then I would watch people having those expectations on their kids and everything and be like, what's that all about? Like, why do you have that expectation for your child? Why do you, let them live their life? Let them be who they want to be. And so it really kind of worked out in my favor. Experts say that failure needs to happen for success. So here's the deal. In a sense, we started out in failure. I mean, we definitely took a path that was more difficult. We knew we weren't going to have a lot of money. We knew we weren't going to get to go to college. We knew that people would be looking down on us and judging us and all this stuff that comes along with it. And so we started life with an uphill battle. We didn't know anything about finances, marriage, parenting. I decided to homeschool, so we didn't know anything about that. And people looked at me like I was so crazy. Like, you're homeschooling, but you don't have a college education. Like, what? So here's something that happened that was a huge changer for us. Immediately, God put mentors in our life. Like, no question, this was a God thing, because I wasn't looking for it. I had the mindset of, I know everything. At that age, we do. And if you're in that age, it's true. We do. Nobody knew anything. I just was going to go and do what I thought I needed to do. But God put mentors in my life, literally right after I got married. In fact, even right before, I was already kind of getting, pursued by these mentors in the form of a business, a direct marketing business. So I got into this business, which helped nurture my thinking differently too, because entrepreneurs think differently. It also helped me to set goals. Like, what do I want in life? I knew that I didn't want normal, because I saw normal all around me. And, it was divorce. It was people being broke and in lots of debt. It was with parents not knowing how to parent their kids. Like, I didn't want that. And once I had my kiddos, I just wanted them around. Not that parents who have to work don't love their kiddos, but I chose to be a stay-at-home mom, and that made things even more difficult. And I'm thankful that I was able to do that. I know not everyone has that ability, but I was able to do that, even with the starter job that Alex had. So, we started off unconventionally, and we really kind of continued that way. We always laughed that we just do things differently. We really don't like to just do what is expected, what is the normal. Like, we question everything. We always have. We still do. So if you can answer yes to this question, did I start my adult life differently than society teaches? Then you may have somewhat of a difficult path ahead of you, but you also have opportunity. You have the ability to fight, to think differently. And here's what I want you to do. 1, evaluate. Evaluate where you are Like, be honest. Okay. For us, we had to say, all right, we are pregnant. There are a few decisions to make with that. Are we going to keep the baby? Are we going to adopt her out? I will tell you, abortion was not a thing for us. And so making that decision, and with that decision came lots of consequences. Okay, where are we going to live? Are we going to, go to college? All of that stuff was related. So we had to really honestly look at where we were. And then where do we want to go? The only people that were asking us this were the people in the direct marketing business that we got into. Everybody else expected nothing of us, like nothing. In fact, honestly, they just didn't think we were going to make it. I love them. They were well-meaning, but that is just what it was. So we had to fight with that. So in the business, they would ask us, where do you want to be in 5 years? Where do you want to be in 10 years? Like, that wasn't stuff we thought about. Like, why would we even look at that? 5 years? I can hardly look at the end of the week or the end of the month or paycheck to paycheck. But they had us think about that stuff. And we knew, like, okay, we've decided to get married. We're going to make this thing work. We're going to not just make it work, but we want to have a fun and great relationship. Like, that's what we wanted. We decided that we were going to be parents that loved and were involved with our kids. Like, we didn't want to just hand our kids off all the time. And like, okay, fine, if I had to work, we'd do daycare. But there is a mentality out there of just dropping your kids off everywhere. Like, you just let them go. And that was not what we wanted to do. We knew that we wanted better finances. Man, we wanted better finances. Like, we were barely making it. So it was really crazy frustrating. And man, we were not making the best financial choices. I can tell you there was a time when we did start getting our finances underway. I could look at my checkbook and see Papa Murphy's, Papa Murphy's, Papa Murphy's, Papa Murphy's, Papa Murphy's. We were not making good decisions, health-wise or financially. And so we knew 5 years from now, where do I want to be? And we sat down and actually talked about that as teenagers. Crazy, right? 2, what skills do you already have? And what skills do you want to learn? I had a lot of skills at the time. I mean, I'd already obviously been in school. I did graduate high school, barely, but I did. And I knew a lot of stuff. I'd been in the military, so I had some skills. But I knew that there was a lot of stuff I wanted to learn, and I knew I couldn't afford college, and I knew that I wasn't going to be able to, just pay to go take a class on that. So I knew if I wanted to learn something, I was going to have to look at books, crazy, maybe an apprenticeship, or, somebody who I knew that was familiar with the material or in the field that I wanted to be in. And so that leads right into the next question. What are some unconventional ways that you can learn what you want to learn? So again, could it be an apprenticeship? Could you go to friends and family members in that market or in that field? Could you go to YouTube? You guys have YouTube. Whoa, that is huge. I wish I'd had YouTube. I mean, oh my goodness, the stuff I can learn now, awesome. I can learn anything, and because of YouTube. Can you take some online courses? There's udemy.com. There's so many different places that you can take courses to learn what you need to learn. There is no excuse. And they even have sales. Man, I've purchased some great courses for $15. $15. So I want you to know that you have as much opportunity as anyone else. But there are a couple of things you have to get over. 1, you cannot stay stuck by having a victim mentality. It is so easy. I see it happen all the time. And I always thought, well, once you have kids, especially as a teenager, don't you just grow up? No, it's not true. Unfortunately, I've watched a lot of my peers who were pregnant at the exact same age as we were really close, not make the best decisions, not have mentorship. So they stay and just kind of blaming everybody like, oh, woe is me. This happened to me and da da da. You know what? We made the decision that had a very clear consequence. And yes, it's hard. And there are a lot of things you have to decide on. But I tell you what, it's not impossible. You just have to get out of that victim mentality. And 2, don't blame everyone for your decision. Take responsibility. There is such a weird thing where we want to blame our parents for, they raised me this way or they did that or blah, blah, blah. There's all these things that my parents did wrong. No. Yeah. Okay. That could be a part of it. But especially as a teenager, you are making your own decisions. You need to take responsibility for it. And 3, don't try to do it on your own. I know that we probably think that we know everything at that age. I remember feeling that way. And now I have a daughter at that age, and yep, she knows a lot, and she's a great gal, and yep, she is definitely doing great things. But of course, she, feels like she knows everything. That's just the age, right? That is just the age. But the truth is, it may not be your parents. It may not even be anyone super close to you, that you need to find somebody. Maybe it's even, I don't even know who. We found ours in the form of a business, direct marketing business. And so we found people who had the finances that we wanted, the marriage that we wanted, the kids, like raising their kids the way that we wanted, homeschooling, all of that stuff. We saw the fruit on these people's trees, so to speak, and that was who we followed. We learned stuff from them. I asked them a ton of questions. They would offer advice as they saw me doing certain things. And so definitely, definitely need to find some mentorship. So mentorship is not something that is just freely given. Unfortunately, that is something I did learn once we got out of the business world. That was just freely given to us as we were building this business. It is something you will have to seek out. So you have so much life left. I really want you to hear that, because unfortunately in my life, when this was all going on, I had a lot of people telling me that this is the end of your life. You're not going to be able to do anything. Your life is going to be so hard, so difficult. It basically was over. And I don't want you to hear that. What I want you to hear is that yes, you are going to have to fight for what you want. But that is not a bad thing. And anything worth doing takes effort. All right, guys. Thanks so much. And I hope this helps. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.